We're live. What's good, everybody? It's Game Talk. I'm Gangster. I'm here with Brimstone, Rambo, and my boy Blue. If you say so. We're here playing Valorant today, so you don't have to. I don't like this game. I don't. I mean, it has potential. It's got some good stuff, but I don't think its positives come anywhere near to overshadow its flaws. Oh, the anti-cheat is a big one. The jankiness, uh, some of the I really don't like the penalty to aim on movement. I think it should be a lot less. I think the bullet spread is way too random. Um, it's really limited on characters, but it is a beta, so that I can kind of give it a pass for. I think a lot of the sure, especially if they can keep up with what they say they're gonna. I don't think they will be, but if they even get close, fair enough. I think a lot of the characters' abilities weren't really thought out well, or at least not the abilities themselves, but the collective abilities. Like, there's a lot of characters that don't really have a combat ability, which that's a serious disadvantage. Like, really. Um, what's up, Jack? Um, shit like that. I mean, there's probably more, but that's while I'm playing it, I'll probably come up with a bunch of shit. But go ahead, Blue. I know you have you have some written down things to say to us, don't you?
Think you can keep up? Who am I kidding? You know you can't keep up.
Blue? My boy Blue. Right? Oh shit. He went down. Alright, well we will wait. There he is. Right? I don't see how it could be worse than my Comcast, but dude, I'm this fucking close, man, to if Consolidated had a better speed, because I think they're limited to like 40 KB down, which is just not good enough. But yeah, if they had a decent speed package in my area, I would totally be on with them instead of Comcast, because they're fucking me hard with this Corona shit. But such is life. What's up, Arrow? Barely hear anyone else's voice besides you, Gangster. Oh shit, everybody else is turned up. I can't really turn. I think everybody's at 100%. Man, Blue is having trouble. But I know Brem's pretty much just been playing Valorant. Oh fuck. Hey, there he is.
Remaining.
Maybe not. Start it real quick. Excellent connection. Okay, what's up? Oh wait. Oh. Just to prove that Valorant is garbage, it crashes my fucking computer. Somebody in the chat tell me if the stream is going. I think it is. OBS says I'm streaming and the thing tells me I'm connected, so. Alright, this actually, they're saying it can't even hear you guys at all. Ah, gee, fucking Christ.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Brim, Rambo, or Blue. Somebody say something besides me, please. Jack, can you hear Brimstone?
Shame. I love explosions.
Yeah, it should have desktop audio cable input. Brim, say something. Oh no, it's OBS is not picking it up. What the fuck? All right, got to be a Discord thing then. Oh, that's why. Haha. Okay, sorry guys, I fixed it. Say something now, Brim. Or Blue, or can you guys hear me? No, what the fuck? Now my shit's not working. God damn this. Fucking Discord, dude. Well, it would not be. Alright, can you guys hear me now? Can anybody hear me in Discord?
Yes.
Spike planted.
Okay.
Oh, I can hear you. Yeah.
Alright, now
I
OBS
thought you
is
sucked with the
picking you up.
strings.
Okay, thank fucking God. Sorry for that, ladies and gentlemen.
Last player standing.
Ah, fuck. Just to prove how bullshit Valorant is, it crashed my goddamn computer almost. And then...
Can I do some Borderlands? Because Borderlands for some reason crashes my computer out every fucking time.
I mean, I don't know, I never had problems with Borderlands, but, you know.
I have 90 hours into it, plus the season pass, so I...
But Blue, so, getting back to,
Game back to happen.
Jack, that was a bunch of bullshit between, well, Valorant crashed, but the thing with the audio, it was Discord. Discord had the wrong set inputs for some fucking reason. But Blue, you said you had a whole bunch of Valorant opinions that you even
I like
had
the
written
gunplay.
down, right? So let's hear them.
Bad news about that part is, for some reason my fucking notes, it deleted my notes on my phone. Because
Well,
my iCloud couldn't store it, so it just got rid of it. Fucking
you should
iCloud.
be able to tell us some of them anyway without your notes,
I am.
man.
Yeah. I mean, I really like the gunplay. I know you don't like it, but that's just because you have the wrong opinion.
No, I don't like. I don't not like all of it. That's the thing, right? It keeps
I
a
like
lot
how
of
guns
the.
feel. Like I know I only use Vandal, so take that for a grain of salt. But like I like how the Vandal feels when it shoots. It has a certain feel to it that just feels really nice to use, versus like any other shooter where it just feels kind of like clunkish. Like
See, I
Borderlands
would-
2, for example.
Remaining.
Oh, that was a good shot, Wizard. I would prefer a little more Call of Duty gunplay.
I don't want more Call of Duty gunplay. Like 'cause I think it's fine how it is because it's not supposed to be a game where you're running around doing like the Call of Duty run around jumping 5,000 no
enough.
scope is gonna kill
My
everyone
whole
instantly.
thing though is with the enormous penalty to shots from moving, and especially the randomness. Like there is no way to compensate for the randomness of the shots. Whereas with CS Source or even Go, there is a semi-predictable pattern, right? It's not completely predictable because it's not like your shots go all the same place every time. They just move like up or something. You know, they'll start going to the right a little bit or something like that, and you know, but if you're good, you can compensate for that. But with Valorant, it's just straight up random. One shot goes high right, one shot goes bottom left, shot goes straight up, and it just keeps fucking bouncing all around the place. And I do not like that. I think there should be a little more predictability in it, especially when they're trying to market this as the skill-based shooter. Like that was their whole thing. And
I mean,
like, there's
kind of
nothing
is, though.
skill about. No, that's only when you're doing single shots. And it's like, okay, but that's not like if that's the game you want it to be, then why are there even automatic weapons in the game?
I mean, tap firing it really fixes that though.
But again, that's what everybody's going to be doing. And the other thing, the big thing that I do not like about it is with the enormous movement penalty to your shot placement, and it is huge. It is way bigger than even Counter-Strike's.
One enemy remaining.
With that,
Flawless.
that just ridiculously balances the game in favor of camping and defense.
I bet that's where the abilities come in though.
This is why we are a team.
That's not enough to compensate for it, though. Like, there's almost no situation in which it's worse, or in which it's better to push towards your target than to sit in one spot and defend, except for that you are on the attacking team and you have a time limit and you have to get the bomb to the target. But other than that, in every circumstance, practically, it's better to just sit and wait in a corner somewhere, because once they come to you, you're going to be firing way less of a spread than they are. And it's enormous, dude. Like, even walking slowly, it's just a huge fucking difference. And I don't like it. I think they should tone it down a
I think
little
it's mainly
bit.
because you use the revolver mainly.
No, because it's with the sniper rifles, it's with the automatic rifles, it's with everything. But I mean, it might be worse with the sniper rifles and the revolvers compared to the automatic weapons, and fair enough. But
Because
again,
I haven't noticed it. That's the thing. Like I haven't had that much problem like that. Wait, you cut it out there?
no, I'm here.
Because I haven't had any problems like that with Valorant. The only thing I got that's problem that might be a problem, I think, is just the map design because it feels weird.
Last player
Yeah, map
standing.
design's a little.
It just feels weird to me because it's like because I've played Go and in Counter Strike Go, the maps are like very simple,
Yes.
and you got
30
like Dust
seconds
2,
left.
the best map ever made, and all that stuff. And like in Valorant, the maps just feel really weird. Like I don't want to say they're bad because I actually don't mind the maps. They just feel incredibly just.
I don't like a lot of aspects of the maps.
It just feels like whenever you want to go to like the A side, you have to like do some like you have to go through this tunnel, then go climb a mountain or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that's to me just feels like it. I wish it was just more simple to get to the objectives instead of all these like tunnels everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
There's
But-
that. I think
Nice
the
try,
abilities. Honestly, I think offensive abilities like the character who shoots knives out of her hands or whatever. I think she's probably the worst character ever, dude. Like
Really?
any
You
ability
think
that's
so?
offensive, yeah. Because any character that has offensive ability, I find I literally just kill them instantly half the time.
Well, that's the thing.
Anytime they
Her
rush me.
offensive ability, I mean, it's only her ult. So all the rest of her abilities, like, she's got 2 movement abilities.
She's
and,
a rushdown character. She's a first engager. That's why she doesn't have that many attacks. Like she has she's a utility character, right? So like with her, you want someone that could rush B or rush A or rush C and get there first. I mean that's kind of her point actually. That's why I like her anyway. So
I mean, I don't know. 'Cause I feel like characters who have like more offensive abilities might not even really be good at all. Like I'll be honest, because my character is all about just taking armor out. Like my character isn't like anything like offensive, you can say. And
Fuck
I
outta
find my
here.
character more useful than like a character. Let's say if their alt was just toss a grenade, even though that grenade is very stupid. Whatever that one character
you
is.
know who has a lot of offense is that one chick that does the bazooka. Like her whole utility kit's about engagement.
Is offense. Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
Yeah,
she
but
was
it's
wiping
not
us
even
out
that
last
good,
night, dude.
and
It was
this is what I'm
ridiculous.
saying. I really wish that every character had at least one non-ultimate offensive move.
Wish every character had a grenade. That'd be nice.
Player standing.
Something like that. That'd be awesome. Like, I'd be okay with that. But Arrow says the
Yeah.
map seems a bit too large with how the characters move. Yes, I think
I agree with that.
I-
No, that's actually
I
right. That's
really-
actually that kind of.
That's exact.
I,
Yeah.
I pointed that out like when I first started playing this game. I was like, dude, like the motion of these characters with this map just doesn't seem like it adds up.
Yeah.
And the map itself is really jarring. Like you could zoom it out or zoom it in if you want, but the maps just don't seem like they add up to the actual size of the entire map itself. Like it's
And there's
just
only like
weird.
2 maps right in this game, like 2.
No, I think there's 3.
There's like 3 or 4, but like they all look alike anyway. So
Which I don't mind, like if it's gonna be like the like Counter Strike where there's only a few maps, like I wouldn't mind. I don't mind that, but just it has to be like a really good map.
But
Yeah,
yeah, with regard to
you got-
movement speed, I think the regular walk speed for most of the guns should be about what your knife speed is. Especially with the map this big. There's a couple other maps that are a little bit smaller. They don't have 3 bomb sites, which I think that needs to go away because there's just no defending 3 bomb sites with 5 people. Especially with how
Yeah,
like the gap between A and C is just enormous. And the other thing is with the routes. The
That's what I
routes
meant
to
by,
get
like, I feel like
between
you're just-
each place they're meandering. There's no direct routes, which means that some shit happens, you need to rotate, and there's no good way to get over to where you need to go. You end up having to follow all these little corridors around, all these different corners, and it seems like a convoluted mess. Oh shit.
I mean, that's how I feel about the map design in Valorant. Which I hope they can fix or at least change it, because the whole thing, they have 3 bomb sites, and like let's say like you're on C, and they just plant A, and you're like they kill the 2 guys there, and they plant A. It's gonna take you forever to get there. You can't walk there to be tactical about it, because if you walk there, you're not gonna make it in time.
Yeah.
If you run there, they'll know where
They'll
you are
hear you.
instantly.
Yep. Yeah.
Like that's where I gotta agree with you there. Like
Jack asked, by the way, do you see this game as a whack-a-mole shooting kind of thing? Kinda not. It isn't if you're single shooting, or if you're not moving. But if you are moving, or firing anything more than 1 bullet at a time, it is straight up whack-a-mole, and that's what I don't like. That's if I had to pick one thing that I don't like the most about this game, it would be that. I wish you could control it a little more.
I don't like how shift. I don't know. You know how in Counter Strike Source you could tap shift, and like it would skip the sound of you moving, and you could move a little bit faster.
Right.
So like it would be harder for them to pinpoint you. It doesn't work in this game. I've been trying it this whole time. It just doesn't work. Like
No, you
1
have to hold it.
footprint-
You have to walk everywhere.
Yeah, it's fucking dumb.
Yeah. Shit.
That's like my main bitch next to the fucking crashing. But I'm giving it a pass with the crashing because this is a closed beta. So hey,
I guess I'm lucky where I haven't had any technical problems with Valorant though.
Yeah,
The
well,
game runs well.
apparently, because today I just had my first crash, which that's kind of weird, but, you know. I mean, it is beta, so some of this shit will obviously get worked out. But again, my biggest thing overall with this is none of this game's positive aspects outweigh the negatives that I see about it, and I'm not just talking about the in-game stuff, because a lot of that might be patched out or, you know, altered or tuned or tweaked or whatever. But
right.
especially with how the anti-cheat is. You know, I said it before. If any of my absolute favorite multiplayer shooters of all time, Battlefield 3 and 4 or 2142, any of the Call of Duties that I loved, you know, any of that stuff. If any of them had an anti-cheat that was this kind of nonsense, I would not have played those games. And that's I can't see myself playing this past, you know, the next week or so, you know, with you guys. So
Yeah, I'm gonna be playing this game for a while. This has been sort of like my Overwatch replacement.
see, I'd much rather
I mean,
play
the thing
Overwatch.
is, I'm enjoying this more than Overwatch though at the moment.
Same. Yeah,
I
same.
think,
honestly.
you know, I think that's only because it's new, though.
How about that? I haven't been able to.
Well, we're
really
getting a patch
play
this week
Overwatch at
for comp, so I'm actually looking forward to that. Comp patch is coming in this week.
on Overwatch.
No, on Valorant.
I mean, if we do comp Valorant, just be prepared. That's just what I'm saying.
Why do you think I'm playing so much? They say that no one's gonna be allowed to jump into any game until you get at least 20 games under your belt. They
20
want people
regular games?
20 regular games under their belt before they play comp, so that way they can get people to get used to the game.
I mean, I'm just gonna need good teammates because I can carry hard, you know.
This guy.
I'm just joking about that. No, like I'm looking forward to this game's comp, and I don't know. I could see myself probably playing this game way more than Overwatch, because Overwatch to me, I played it for a little bit, and now it's so
You
I can't even like have fun with playing it anymore. Like every time I start the game up, I'm like, it's kind of me for Overwatch right now.
Spike planted.
Like I don't know, maybe it's just because I just don't enjoy like tank play anymore. I just don't enjoy the game anymore. Maybe that's the case. And I'm really liking Valorant, just competitive, or just the game
A part
in
of me
general.
will always love Overwatch, but like the way Valorant plays, it's like a cross between the two, and I think that's why I like
Like,
it so much.
Here's the thing, Valorant is not perfect, and it has potential, but I'd rather take a game that's going to have a dev team that at least seems like they're dedicated, that has potential, than a game that Overwatch that maybe has a better foundation, but it seems like Blizzard just doesn't know what they're doing with it.
Yeah,
That's been true for a while.
I agree. I agree with that statement. Yeah, because
Like,
right
because
now,
here's the thing, like, if
Overwatch
Valorant's
seems
supposed to get,
lost.
even, like, I'll even be generous, even getting a character once a month would make me happy on Valorant, a new character once a month. Because to me, it's absurd that you have, like, Blizzard and Overwatch. The game's been out for, like, 4 years now, and there's only, like, 30 characters. And they're trying to do all this. It's like, what are you guys doing?
Over a year.
Why are
It's
you
been
making
over,
characters?
it's been almost 3, hasn't it?
I thought it was 4 years. 4 years for Overwatch is now for.
It came out in 14, didn't it? Yeah.
So 4 years then?
Yeah, 4 years.
The game's been only out for 4 years, and there's only now, like, 31 characters. I forgot about the new one they added. To me, that is absurd. And they're trying, like, how does Blizzard explain that to anyone? Now it takes them like 4 years to have, like, how many characters, like 11 or 12 characters they added new. Like, that's just frustrating. And all those balancing changes, like, oh, we're banning characters even though half the roster is DPS, and if we ban like 3 healers, we basically change the game
Not
entirely.
even that, too.
Switching sides.
Two completely fundamentally alters. And not even that. You can do it with one character, with the right character, like when they had the Reinhardt ban.
They literally changed comp for an entire week with that.
Yeah, Jack, I don't know. I don't know. I think Rev's sleeping or something. He was streaming to Twitch earlier today, and he's probably taking a nap.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's frustrating to me about Overwatch, and that's why I really just want to give Valorant a big try and hope it somewhat succeeds. Because it's like, I'd rather have a team that's dedicated with a game that's flawed, like Valorant, than Overwatch, where it just seems like Blizzard doesn't care. Like, that's what Overwatch feels like to me. Like, it just seems like Blizzard just doesn't care.
I
It's
cannot.
like one of the reasons why I dropped Destiny too. It's like, man, it feels like all Bungie's throwing at us is just bullshit. And it just seems like they don't care, and they want to update that stupid Eververse every 20 seconds. Like, that's why I'll give Valorant a try and be more like fruitful of Valorant than Blizzard right
See
now.
that I can't justify keeping this spyware anti-cheat on my computer
Stay down.
for that.
I mean, I can
Right.
see that could be a big problem.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean that's
You know,
something I'm gonna have
especially
to,
with
like,
it being
grapple
owned by
with.
Tencent. Like, that's the worst part. Like, it's bad enough that they want Ring Zero admin access 24/7 as soon as you boot your computer, but the fact that it's owned by a company that's owned by Tencent, like, I'm sorry, that what? Like, they're not gonna spy on you? Come the fuck on. They've been caught spying on everything.
I agree.
But yeah, I don't know.
I think that they might address that though. They might address like the anti-cheat software though.
Charges? Check.
But I don't know on it for certain. I mean, that's something I'm gonna have to grapple with. But it's just my frustration of Overwatch right now is just beyond like the pale.
Plus, I've given
So-
up on competitive Overwatch. So yeah, that's for me. Overwatch is just it. I mean, it's still a really fun competitive-esque shooter to play with friends. And that's the
Oh, yeah.
only way I would see this game. And since I would have just as much fun playing with you guys in Overwatch, why play this? Especially when it's got, you know, big problems and the horrible anti-cheat and shit. Oh, dude, why'd you get out there?
Yup.
You know, so, or, you know, go. Like, there's a ton of replacements for this game. So I
Yeah,
just
but they're
can't
not
see the
really
justification.
known, or they're not really played.
True.
Go.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, who says CS:GO's not known? Everyone knows about that shit.
No, he said alternatives to
Oh,
to this game. Like, yeah, you have one, and that's CS:GO, right? But
Yeah,
like
and
that's like
CS:GO is-
literally the only thing that actually has a scene comparable, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
it's
it's
Well,
because,
really
Overwatch, but
you can't really compare this to Overwatch though, because it's like everyone's like it's like a hero shooter Counter Strike game, but it's like yeah, but that it being like Counter Strike completely changes the dynamic.
yeah.
only a little though. Really,
I
only
know
a
a
little.
lot because in Overwatch you can run around a bit more. In this game, it's like 2 shots and you're dead.
This is more focused. This is more of a focus shooter versus Overwatch. Overwatch is like the evolved TF2 for our day. You know what I mean? Like it's
Oh
just
no, I can
that's
hear an
how I
army
look
of
at it.
Team Fortress 2 fans angry. How
Well,
dare
they
you
can
say
get
no,
bent.
Team Fortress?
Team Fortress. I mean,
Yeah.
I got into Team Fortress 2 late, and that was a little unfortunate. And I did like it, but I never thought that Team Fortress 2 was like this god game that everybody kept saying it
Yeah.
was. You know, I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong, and I love the characters, and I loved the.
It was big for its
yeah.
time because
Well,
it came out at a certain
sure.
time.
You know, and it had a lot of cool
Like that's
features.
how Counter Strike got big though. It came out at a certain time and it was like a competitive shooter that came like when did the original 1.6 come out?
Oh, dude. You mean? Oh, I mean the original. You're talking like 1.3.
One
Yeah, like
Um,
when did Counter Strike
and
first
that
come
was,
out?
I think it was. I want to say like 98, 99, but that might be a little too early.
Like in 98, 99, a competitive shooter like Counter Strike was gonna probably take off because there's nothing like it, and that's why. And Team Fortress 2 eventually came along. Like that's why those games all became yay stayers forever. Team Fortress, Counter Strike. Even with people not liking Go, Counter Strike Go is still probably one of the most played games out there. So
Well, it's free to play, so that's a big. I
That
mean,
too.
before it was free to play, it was not nearly as big. So, but yeah, I don't know.
which
There's a
that's
lot of
good.
obstacles for this game becoming as big as something like Overwatch or Go. A lot. And I don't see it
I think it
overcoming
probably
those.
could.
I
It
don't see it
depends, though.
overcoming those hurdles, man. I really don't.
I mean, but you know what though? People
I
were
think it
shitting
could.
on
I have more.
people were shitting
Maybe
on
it's
League of
just.
Legends, and League of Legends is one of the biggest esports on the scene right now. So I mean,
Sure, but that's also
League of Legends
like-
is also the most popular MOBAs out there, though. I think
well,
on
that's
the
well,
plan.
but that's the thing. There's a lot less MOBAs than there are shooters. You know,
There's a ton of MOBAs, just not that are Nate. Like everyone knows what League of Legends is.
like
Everyone knows.
name me 5 MOBAs, Blue,
Oh, okay then. Shit.
because I could name you 24 shooters that are still being played. I mean, I don't know about competitively, but certainly by tons and tons of people. You know, well enough that there could easily be a competitive scene. Whereas with MOBAs, I only know of 2: Dota and League of Legends. I know there are a couple more. I mean, I don't know if Smite. I guess you could consider it.
yeah,
But
it's
again,
a MOBA.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
a
but
MOBA,
it's
but
not
not
as
in the
big
same
as
vein
League.
of. Well, for one thing, it's nowhere near as big as League or Dota, and for another thing, it's not quite in the same.
It's not, their own personal lure type shit. That's the only difference. You still haven't.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, only time will tell with a lot of this stuff. So, oh, we lost Blue again. Oh,
Last player standing.
of course. Every time. Every fucking time.
Did he try launching Borderlands 3 again?
Probably. Yeah, Jack. A source code for TF2 and Counter-Strike Go. People who had the license for the source engine. People are saying don't update, this, that, and the other, but it's a pretty old version of the source code, so
30 seconds left.
I don't know. I mean, it's like if you think it's a risk, then
Be faster.
don't update or whatever, but
One enemy remaining.
I can't see it being all that much of a security risk. But anyway. So Death Stranding on the PC is delayed until July 14th of 2020, which I don't think that's a huge delay. Certain, I mean,
Not
it's
a big
it's
deal,
only
yeah.
like 1 or 2 months from what is it supposed to be? Beginning of next month, I think.
Yeah.
Something like
Get out
that.
of my way.
Um, that's
The sad
unfortunate,
part
I
about it is that
guess.
I think it's like this COVID thing is actually going to like delay a lot of games this year. A lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
launches that were, you know,
One enemy remaining.
whether on PC or PS4 or Xbox One, it's gonna like everything's gonna be pushed back to a new thing, which is gonna make the holiday season very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, the same thing with movies, and they're getting it even worse.
Oh yeah, same
I've
thing.
seen
Yeah, I mean,
tons.
It's a
what
dude. This is.
Top
I've
Gun
been
was supposed to be
depressed.
released,
Yep.
and that was like my Top Gun is like my favorite movie of all time, and I was like so looking forward to
Oh, I was too, man.
that movie. And then when they said it was delayed till like December, I was like, no. Like, but just put it on Movies on Demand or something so that way I can watch it now.
Oh,
Like, shit,
dude,
Yeah.
paid
I've
the-
been. Speaking of delays, dude, this has been the season of delay for anime. And I just hate it. Like every anime I wanted to watch this season got delayed. So like everything's getting delayed, dude. This honestly, this coronavirus shit sucks.
Yep. Although,
Well, and what sucks is that it really shouldn't. Like, after learning more about it, it should never. Like, none of these delays should have ever happened. Have y'all not heard like the study showing like we're in California where like the expected infection rate is like 40 to 50% of the actual residents in Los Angeles?
right.
It's like
Yeah,
up to
the-
400,000. Something like the death rate's like
Enemy remaining.
0.12 or something. Kind of like the flu. So I don't like after learning more about it, I don't understand like why people aren't just like releasing kind of like the people and allowing people to go about their day.
Match point.
Yeah, like,
It
but what
is-
is gonna happen though to everything with all these delays happening? Like, what's gonna happen with
scary.
games, especially?
Well, I mean, games will probably be pushed back, but I don't see the Xbox One X or Series X or whatever and the PS5 being released this year, unless the economy bounces back like real strong, real fast. Because I mean, that's the reason why the PS3 and the 360 were delayed so long. That's because the economy was shit during that time, and so
Enemy spotted.
I see. I mean, everything kind of being pushed back. I think your fall games will be spring games. Your all fall launches will be spring launches, and then kind of the summer is gonna be it's gonna be a slow Christmas season. I think because I think your summer launches are gonna be now in your winter time, which is gonna be kind of a boring winter because that's where we usually get all the big games. Unless they have most of it done, and when they get back to work, they can just simply get it done.
But even then, that's going to end up with a huge front load unless they start spacing them out longer than they would have to otherwise, which I think they're going to do, because otherwise it's going to be 30 movies all releasing on the same week.
Yeah,
And
that's like
Like
it's gonna be.
everything's gonna get spaced out. New movies that were supposed to come out this year, like everything like new is gonna get pushed back, and the things that were supposed
But
to
when
come
are
out like
they gonna-
this month is gonna come out next. Like all this is gonna happen.
When are they going to be able to balance it out? Because like the summer, they like in the very beginning of the summer, they notoriously release like their summer blockbusters, and then it's really slow the rest of the summer until the fall into winter, and then the games are just slow during the summer, and then you have the big winter. But if they start like pushing everything back and spacing it out, like games that were supposed to be like in the fall and making a ton of money being pushed over to a different area aren't going to make as much money because of the timing.
Yep.
So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do. I mean, are they just going to willingly dump everything at one time and just hope for the best?
Yeah, I don't think they will. I
might.
think
I mean, because that's going to be really low numbers then, because everybody's going to have too many choices.
exactly. So they're definitely going to space it out. Like how much that's going to be the question. But I see it more like probably what's going to happen is as soon as the theaters reopen, the biggest blockbusters are just going to be going first, and that's going to be the ones like Top Gun, and I can't remember the couple more off the top of my head that were everybody seemed to be hyped about relatively, and then they'll space out like the B fair more towards fall or even Christmas time.
You can't keep up.
That's going to be a weird Christmas and fall then. I mean, 'cause
It is.
they usually put big movies at that time. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
gonna be and big games. So I mean, it's just gonna be weird.
Yeah, there will be a
Everything's
lot
gonna
of
be really
movies
odd
that
for a
would
while.
have been summer blockbusters that are going to be more towards fall and Christmas.
I think everything's gonna go back to normal like around 2021 summer. I think that's the only time things are gonna go back to normal.
Yeah, if
Well,
it
they'll
takes
have
that long
to-
they'll
for
have to
stuff like
release
that.
They will have to release a ton of crap between then and then.
Yeah,
Now
because I
and
think
then
these
or whatever,
delays are
because,
gonna
I mean-
affect us for at least a year. Like at least a year, even when all the
Oh,
shit
I would
ends, it's
I would
gonna
say
be around.
easily.
It's gonna be at least a year. All these delays are gonna at least ruin all like, and this goes for everything like games, music, TV
Consoles,
shows,
everything.
etc.
Well,
I
and
think
we
the
don't even
consoles might
know,
still
right?
come out.
Because we only know the ones that are that we're being told are being delayed. We have no
think it's clear.
idea of the amount of movies or TV shows
Oh, yeah.
or whatever that
That
were
were supposed
not
because
that would have released like
advertised
say
yet.
fall or yeah, that were never even advertised or told about, that they're just not even going to say anything about. They're just going to delay them for however long, and you know
well, yeah, because I mean we don't this is gonna have definitely long-reaching effects for like society as a whole, like all the different things that we've become accustomed to as far as release dates and
One enemy
how things work.
remaining.
And Blue, you really think the consoles are gonna come out like in fall of this year?
I don't know about that anymore because of all these delays happening. I don't know if that will even happen.
I-
Because
I
Last
could-
of Us 2
I
got
ju-
delayed as well with this shit.
I could see them trying to get the consoles out as soon as possible, because that is one of the few things that would still do well in this economy.
You think
right?
so?
Oh yeah, because
You think
it's a,
you think people are going to be willing during this, like if the economy is still kind of slow like it is right now? Do you think people will willingly spend $500 to
maybe?
$600 on a console?
People buy dumber shit.
Well,
Well, yeah,
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with you on that.
I mean, here's the thing, right?
but
I mean,
Will they do
I
it
got
as
you-
well?
just-
Of course not. But
well, just look at what they did with the PS3 and the 360. They delayed it like another year or two because of the economy being poor, and this actually not even as bad as what it was in like 2000. What was it? 2007, 2008. So I mean, I really, if everything can get back open, I think we can bounce back pretty quickly.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
there's going to be some
this-
small businesses that didn't make it, but in the long run, I think we'll be fine.
I do
Sure, but I
see
think
console
delays
the,
though are
I
huge.
think the consoles would be one of the things that they would try and push because it's a value proposition, right?
Do you think you think it may be a limited release, like a kind
Well,
of like a slow
definitely it'll
amount,
be
and then maybe
less-
spring, and then
Yeah,
spring launched them really hard?
there'll probably definitely be shortages whenever they decide. I mean, even if they delayed by a whole year, like I still don't see the
Well, yeah, because everything's coming
supply.
from China.
Exactly, yeah. So, you know, even if they moved production as much as they could, I mean, there's no way you're going to be able to get everything out of China and stuff like that. So, yeah, shortages will
No, 'cause-
probably be there.
Because China actually even what's it called, shut down again, and so or Wuhan did. So I mean, I don't know where the parts are actually. I doubt they're being like labored in Beijing. So I would imagine they'd be like in the smaller provinces, like where it's probably a little bit
Let's
cheaper
fly.
to make shit. Because I would
Yeah.
imagine it's more expensive to work in Beijing than it is to work in, like, say, Wuhan.
Enemy spotted.
But,
Yeah, I can sort of see all this just going down.
yeah,
I don't know,
it'll
man. It's gonna be really interesting. The only thing I know is I will be pre-ordering both as soon as they. I mean, I told my wife, I was like, I'm gonna find $1,000, whatever it takes to get both of them.
all I know, dude, is I know people that they were complaining to me. These are all people that I know in real life, unfortunately.
That feels bad, man. Moment.
Yeah, it is because these people are complaining about food and water and toilet paper. They take part in the government part of Facebook groups, and they complain and whine about money. But then when they got their stimulus check, the first thing they did, they went out and bought a fucking TV, dude. I'm like, you fucking morons, dude.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
that's just
ever
dumb.
want to
Well,
hear
and that's
people
the thing.
bitch about money again.
I've
dude.
got no problem with people spending their stimulus check on whatever they want because, like, say for
You
the
have no
people
right
who
to bitch about money if you spend
Well,
your money
no,
on
no, no.
something stupid. I'm just saying.
Let me finish. Right? So for the people who aren't in dire straits, right? It's actually pretty beneficial for them to spend it on, like, say,
Right, which I
computer
agree with.
parts or
I
whatever,
agree.
because that helps
Absolutely.
keep those industries going, when otherwise they could crash, and that would be a bad thing for everybody. I mean, people need TVs and shit. It's the modern age. But
I
yeah,
understand that.
if you've got not enough money for food and you're spending your stimulus check on a TV or something silly like that, yeah, that's come on, guys.
Yeah, see, we were one
You
of
have
the
no.
fortunate ones, so we like my wife has been working from home this whole time. So when we got ours, we had air conditioning problems. I think we spent like a ton of money on the car, and then we bought her a PlayStation, and then like bought a bunch of stuff that we needed since we just moved, and then we paid some bills in advance or whatever, so that way we didn't have to worry about it.
But
But yeah, I mean, if you're on there complaining about like needing food or you're out of money or whatever, and you're wanting, yeah, I have no sympathy for you at all.
pretty much.
I mean, I know the TVs are shiny and they're like, oh wow, but like I think the hunger in my belly would override the
I
need
don't know,
for a
man.
shiny
You
picture.
would think, but people do some stupid shit. So
Yeah, unfortunately, man, unfortunately. And now there's somebody trying to propose that the government gives everybody like $2,000 a month. Like,
No way.
I'm just thinking, please don't. Like,
No.
please. I mean, it would like great. I mean, it would be fucking awesome to get like basically since I have my kids like $5,500 a month. But knowing
Gotta put
knowing
them
the
to work.
outcome later, whenever you have all the inflation and like the loaf of bread's gonna go from like $1.97 to $5, I'm like, I'd rather
Well, that's the thing.
balance out what we have.
A 1 or 2 time payment, like what Trump's
Yeah.
been doing, that's pretty easy to recover from. But if you just start giving everybody $2,000 a month for 8 months a year, like the inflation that'll come from that is gonna be
It's,
horrendous.
oh yeah, we will not be able to recover from that for a long time.
So
I do not
yeah,
want to
it's-
see. Yeah, and I mean, everybody's Arrow asked if May. Do we think of May is too early to reopening? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, I think it's
I
perfect.
think they should have. I think they should have opened back in April.
I mean, we've flattened the curve practically as much as we
I gotta
can.
hold on. I got a question, Rambo, on this, considering that Florida tried to reopen and then reinfected themselves, Rambo. How do you think that was gonna actually play out if your area was to reopen in April?
Well, the way I look at it, we don't even know if they were actually reinfected. Like it could have been just dormant in them, and then they just came out positive or whatever. But
You know,
Well, I
I think
don't-
it's a little weird that like they had the infection
Let's
down
go.
and
Hey,
then they
everybody,
go
come
out,
on.
they go
Hey.
outside, and then all of a sudden, like, boom, there's a
Hey,
virus
okay,
again.
don't listen to
Like,
me.
well, no, I mean, I mean, we're gonna like, even when we reopen, like even in May or whatever, there's going to be a surge of cases.
Fuck me, right?
Because of the fact that, I mean, you never get rid of a virus. A virus doesn't just come in your area and then just go away.
right? I
Like
agree
that's the
with
reason
that,
why. I mean, so we're gonna end up. I mean, we're gonna have to deal with that sooner or later. So why not just go ahead and deal with it? None of our hospitals are being overwhelmed.
Right.
So I mean, there's no reason why we can't. Like I think our governor here said we have like 300 and something ICU beds available. Almost, we had to lay off a complete hospital, like furlough them, and basically they shut down everything in the hospital besides the ER. Like they kicked patients out of the hospital and moved them to another hospital, everything like that, and just kept the ER open for people that needed to come in for anything. But the numbers are so low. I mean, like as far as like the death rate, I get there's a lot of people dying and it sucks, but I mean, a lot of people die every day from everything, and we
Yep.
don't shut everything down. And sure,
Yeah,
we're
we don't
gonna
shut
flatten
down
the
every
curve.
flu season.
not at
I mean,
20
we're
to
gonna-
30,000 people a day
Well,
for
Well,
just
no. This
viral.
is the
Well, no,
thing,
but
though.
I mean that like the thing is though is that we're like the death rate, like the infection rate, they keep showing that, but I mean like I posted on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
The recovery
I know,
rate is
yeah.
800,000. Like I mean, you're talking like the likelihood of you dying if you're a healthy person is very slim.
And not just that.
So,
there,
I mean-
there are lots of pretty good evidence for that. The CDC and others have been jumping up the the death numbers by basically saying, like, there were people who said they would get the death certificates for somebody who had a heart attack and didn't even have corona, and corona was listed as the cause of death.
Yeah, I think that there was
So
some state that actually removed like 200 deaths from their record because they thought they were reported erroneously. And that, I'm not even, I mean, even if they did the numbers as the way they are, is like, I just still think that if you look at like all the different studies that we've seen from like California, Michigan, or Massachusetts, and then New York, where you extrapolate the data, like 600,000 people were tested in New York in the study, and they found that like 60% of them already had the antibodies for COVID-19. Like they were fine. Like they already had it and gotten the immunity from it,
Cool.
and didn't even know they even had it. But yet so I mean, if you do that extrapolate, I mean 60%, that's a wide margin. So I mean, you're gonna like there's probably a shit ton of cases that we don't even know about. Like the case number with the active cases would go up like way high, but the death rate is still going to remain relatively low compared to the numbers. And sure, I mean it sucks, but I mean why we could at least quarantine the at-risk population, and then let everybody else, all the healthy population, go out and do business as usual, like basically like Sweden is doing. And you see in Sweden, they basically have kept life as normal, and I think that they're 1 month away from developing herd immunity, to where 80% of their population has already been infected and is doing fine. So I don't know. I mean, it sucks that people are dying, but I still
It's hard.
The-
It's hard to believe some of these stories. I'm not saying that. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying in general, like these news outlets, because they just had a news outlet come out and say that young people that was infected by it are now finding out that they're suffering from heart attacks and shit and strokes because it causes blood clots. So it's really hard to deduce what's fact and what's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at it, like just like that story, whenever I was joking around before we started about ingesting, disinfectant. Like the news these days, whether it's from the right or the left, is never down the middle. Like it's never just factual.
One
And
enemy remaining.
I mean, so you gotta, I basically look at it and then maybe hope for the best. But I mean, or look for keywords that you can tell is like really opinionated. But I don't. Then it's hard to even trust any news, whether it comes
That's what
from
I know. That's what I'm saying.
overseas or
It's really
it
hard
sucks.
to. It's really hard to deduce like what's fact, what's an opinion piece. Like, because anytime they get called out for it, they're like, "Oh, it was just our opinion." Like, what? But you just reported it as news. Like, what are you?
Yeah,
what
and it
It's
wasn't,
just the game
and it's not even in their
theory.
opinion section. It's just
And that's my problem, right? Like, that's what I was saying. Like, because I was trying to look into that. I was trying to look into the cases where young people were being infected, and they found blood clots in their blood, and their particularly their lungs and and around their heart. So, like, they're saying that these young people were having straight up strokes at young ages, and I was like, damn, dude, that's fucked up. Like,
if true, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's hard. I really don't know. I mean, what to believe. I just kind of like. I feel like the shutting like everybody in isn't really the answer, because I mean,
For you.
everybody knows that being outdoors is you have less likely of a chance to catch something than you do being indoors.
right.
And a lot of the caseload going up is families infecting
One
their own
enemy
family.
remaining.
So I mean, because we're all shut inside the house, the house with our own personal
Right.
loved ones or whatever. But if we were out and about, like at a park or whatever, I mean, I don't know. I just think that you'd probably see a lot fewer cases, or not fewer cases, but maybe you would see a lot more cases, but it would be reported more accurately with the amount of people with it and the amount of people that are dying. Because right now it's hard to really tell, especially with all the different studies that have come out showing how many people are asymptomatic, or carrying the antibodies to it.
Right.
And that's, of course, if you can believe those as well.
True. Yeah. Yeah. See, yeah, it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to like find out whether what's fact and what's not. I mean,
Yeah. Trump
And
is really, I mean,
especially
that's
with
one thing
man, Facebook and Twitter are taking down anything that disagrees with the WHO.
with the WHO. Yeah.
Yeah, which and God, man, if anything has been proven by this, it's that the WHO is just terrible at everything.
Yeah, everybody
who is
questioned
this? Like, I've heard about them, but I
World
don't
Health
even really.
Organization.
Yeah, World Health.
They're the ones who they're okay. We have like the CDC here, but the World Health Organization is like supposedly like CDC for the world, but we don't. Well, we didn't. Used to listen to them as often or as much as we did our own CDC. Like, so if they had like the CDC and the WHO disagreed, we listened to the CDC here in America. But over in Europe, the WHO is like God to them. Like that's their chief medical people. So to them, whenever if you disagree with the WHO and you get a hold of like a British person or a European person or whatever, they'll defend the WHO until the day they die. Because that's all they've known is like that's their CDC
One
version.
enemy remaining.
Jeez, you make it sound like a religion.
Well, it kind of
Kinda
it really
is.
kind of is here
You want
lately.
the
Yeah,
bomb,
it's all
please
part
delete
of the UN, the WHO. They're
Yeah.
all kind of part of the same ecosystem, and they all spread the same,
Sorry, I thought he was on
basically
there.
propaganda.
Yep.
You know, and it literally they've been caught, and now CNN and a bunch of other mainstream media outlets have been caught either censoring or their own articles or just reports in general, or promoting Chinese propaganda being released by the WHO or China themselves. It's really
Well, yeah,
disgusting.
there was CNN basically ran a article, or I think even maybe even it might have been a TV segment. I'm not sure. But basically word for word, what a Chinese ran news media outlet. They put out a press briefing and they basically ran it word for word, like that way it was factual.
Yep.
And I'm just like CNN is actually like just basically parroting Chinese propaganda rather than actually investigating anything. Which that's what makes it so difficult. Like you said, like Trump has made it, and I'm not sure it's really Trump's fault, but he's exposed the fact that now you really probably shouldn't have been trusting the news all along.
Yep.
Ever since I think that I don't think that you should have a government controlled news thing like Canada's, like with the CBC.
That's just garbage here. Don't try to mimic it.
Well, yeah.
One enemy
Well, no, I mean,
remaining.
I'm just saying I don't think you should have that, but I think that you should have some sort of like a free news network type of thing.
Like the
that isn't
BBC
ran
in
on-
Britain? No.
Well, no, I don't. It's not really free because they're required to pay
They're
a
paying
subscription
taxes.
fee to it. Yeah,
Well, you got a license for
Um,
that TV, mate.
but some way for them to actually make it to where their bottom line isn't based on clicks and views and ads and everything else, to where you actually have some place that you go that, well, yeah, but I mean, I would like to actually have that to where, because if they didn't worry about having, a million clicks on their articles, or 2 million people watching in a nightly segment, they wouldn't be as prone to like prop up entertainment television as they would actual news.
I think
'Cause that's
all
what-
that's
that's
just
what the news
inevitable,
is-
So
That's really what all the news has turned into here, is entertainment, like entertainment TV.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's the
Unfortunate.
sad part, is that
I mean, it's a catch-22, right? Because any sort of government option, and of course they're
Yeah.
they're favoring the government, but a
Yep.
private option,
they're favoring their ads.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like I don't think I don't know if you'd be able to have an actual free news system, but I mean it would be nice to have. But yeah, I mean, I would never want a government option, because then you basically have state-run TV.
the thing, what you guys talking about, it has never existed and never will exist. Like I'm.
Oh, I know.
pointing
Yeah,
that out.
it's just something I would like to have. But yeah, it can exist because of
In
the
a
fact
perfect
that
world,
people want to make money,
wouldn't it be?
Last player standing.
and a nonprofit wouldn't even work for it, because it's notorious with nonprofits that corruption is inevitable.
Yep.
One enemy remaining.
But in other news, so Nintendo
Yeah.
got hacked.
Jesus.
Was it the
Which-
Switch?
All I've
And
seen that's for sure is that Nintendo has come out and said that 160,000 accounts,
Holy shit.
the information of 160,000 accounts has been
30 seconds
read
left.
or viewed by sources that were not intended by Nintendo.
Now, was it accounts like maybe emails and passwords, or was it
I-
accounts
that's-
like as far as
I-
like their
I
financial
haven't
data?
read
would
any
it be?
conversation on anything specific, so I don't know whether we're talking credit card info or just, email accounts and shit like that or whatever. So, but if you're worried about that kind of thing, change your password. Enable any other kind of authentication.
On our path. It is right.
Yeah, I might need to let my son know. He just actually started playing his Switch because he got Animal Crossing. So,
Does he like it?
well, he likes it, but I mean, he used to play like the original Animal Crossing. Like when I first met my wife, that's all he played. It was just Animal Crossing constantly. But he was, of course, really young. But once he figured out this one actually came out, he bought it, and now he's been playing it quite a bit now.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't see how anybody likes it. Honestly,
I know. I don't
seems
either.
like a really boring ass game.
But hey, to each their own, right?
I mean, if you're not
Yeah.
if you're not into crafting games, this is definitely not
Yeah,
something.
yeah. See,
Well, here's
Minecraft
the-
is the
no, no.
same thing with me. I can't even
Well,
get into Minecraft.
See,
either,
that's
so.
I like Minecraft. Like Minecraft is a great chill game, where I can just go around and mine and do whatever the fuck I want. But the difference between that and Animal Crossing, to me, is that in Animal Crossing there's bills and shit. And it's why do I want to play a game where I gotta pay bills and shit? Oh my god!
Because
See
you want
this
to be
accuracy.
productive. You want to be a productive member of your
of
Animal Crossing,
Yeah, well,
or you
I
just
don't
be a
know, man.
landlord like me and just evict people you don't like because you
One
can.
enemy remaining.
But yeah, I guess I could understand it in the same vein as Minecraft. If you don't mind having to pay bills in a video game.
Like the
Cool.
villagers come in. All right.
I just
we're
don't
Uncle
get that,
Sam,
though.
draw
Like,
me some of
really,
your
for real.
diamonds.
Bills.
I made the joke. I made the joke last week about it because it's true. Like their economy in that game is amazing. People are making money, dog. Like, what? Like seriously, what?
Okay, so wait a minute. Is that in-game economy for that? Is that actually real-world money?
Some of it, yeah. Like you can
Holy
buy
shit.
stuff.
I think, well, yeah, isn't it like WoW, how WoW eventually got to where you could exchange either one way or the other, gold for real money or real money for gold? I thought that was how they ended up working it,
Well,
but
fuck,
I'm not
man.
like
I'm
I
gonna buy
don't
me a
play it, so I
Switch
don't
and-
know, right?
I'm gonna buy me a Switch, grind the
Start
shit out of
farming
whatever
those
that somebody needs,
turnips
and
or
start
whatever the
selling
fuck.
shit. Yeah, like I'll sell you 100 turnips, man.
Oh,
Animal Crossing has its own economy.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, my economy on Animal Crossing is thriving, but I haven't played in a week, so who knows what happened.
here, Blue. All right, Bram, I'm putting you up a smoke screen.
Anyways, you guys hear about that HBO
Spike planted.
Last of Us TV series?
Oh,
you want to hear how great
yeah.
that's gonna be?
Enemy remaining.
I think it's gonna be hot garbage, but
No,
You
I
know.
I think it's gonna be great. Because when the zombie apocalypse happens, climate change is really important, man. Like you gotta really beat that guy who's driving in the zombie apocalypse.
I guess.
Stupid. I don't know. I thought it was funny news as I put it there.
Yeah, I don't know. And then I guess apparently there's going to be a new female-led Star Wars TV show. And I keep reading this.
My bad, I thought that was somebody else.
I keep reading posts about articles that say that the
Match point.
executives at Disney are mad about it. Although I can't see how that could be the case, since, I mean,
Because there's probably a reputation.
maybe but did they suddenly change their mind? I don't know.
Man.
Yeah,
like
it's,
I didn't hear about them getting mad, but I've been seeing all this news about a new Star Wars Women series where it's gonna be a strong focus on the women,
Kung Fu women.
something like that. Because that's what you like in Star Wars is Kung Fu women.
Well, I mean,
lightsabers.
Kung Fu for sure. Kung Fu-esque. All the flips and shit. That shit was great in the prequels. I loved it. But yeah, it's. I don't know. I take the standard where if you're promoting women as your point, your main focus, I guess,
You're
then
focusing on the wrong thing.
well, that's the yeah. You're just telling me you have nothing else to promote as the story character. You know, whatever your show is trying to be made of.
See,
So
I wouldn't. I mean, I would probably go see. I would, or even have seen a lot of these Star Wars, or go see these all women ones, or the ones they're talking
Don't
about.
bother.
If they would have actually put on, like, say, hey, we're telling the story of this person, and this it's a setting in this setting, and it's about this and whatever. But then you could make the whole cast female or whatever, if that's what you wanted, but just don't tell me that's what you're doing. And then whenever I go to see it, I'll be like, oh, well, I'll judge it on the movie, that instead of like judging it on, like, you're just focusing on gender rather than actually a story behind the movie, So when they talk about like rebooting things or even doing anything with an all-female cast, it's like you've already started off on the wrong foot.
Anytime I hear the word reboot now, I kind of just get like flashbacks, and I'm like, yeah, no, can we
To
not do this?
Ghostbusters? Yeah.
oh
Notice
god,
I do not want
All of
like
them.
I stop doing reboots, please.
Yes.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
Like we
If you're
don't
gonna
need
do a-
you to
if
do
you're gonna do
a
a
modern
reboot-
day. We don't need a modern day adaptation of some popular movie from the 80s. Let it stay in
well,
the
if
80s.
you're gonna do
and
it
be
though,
popular there.
at least
Do it right.
At least do it.
Fuck.
At least match it with what it was.
Bro, like,
Like,
how the
don't
hell are
come
you
out
gonna?
with a whole new cast.
How are you gonna do a Mulan live action and not include my dude in that?
Yeah, the romance, like that was one of the main driving forces of the movie. I mean, not the main one,
Him and
but-
Mushu, dude. Like,
yeah.
what the fuck? Where's
And they
Mushu at, dude? That's what made
completely
the
cut
movie
them both
great.
out. Yeah, it's like,
Oh
what are
my
you guys
God,
doing?
man.
It's
Because Disney was like an attractive Asian guy that everyone likes. We can't have that. Send him out now.
and the worst part is it's. I mean, at this point, the only reason to do a remake and make those kinds of I mean, it's real tough, right? Because sometimes a remake comes out and they fundamentally change things, but it's a good change. I'm struggling to think of an example. I'm sure I could come up
Yeah,
with
they
one
don't
given enough
exist.
time. No, they do exist. But it like when you do that, you're taking a big risk, right? Because if you alienate the original fans, like the people who weren't fans, they're usually not going to care about it nearly as much. And if you alienate the original fans, then you're fucked because now you got no customers.
You got no fan base.
Yeah, but that doesn't say it can't be done. Like it absolutely can be done, and I know it because I've seen it before. And like I said, I just can't think of an example off the top of my head. But I mean, if you
That's
want
how
to,
more new
the
ideas.
thing about that is that's a risk. And if you want to do a story similar to, say, Mulan, but change some fundamental aspects like removing the romance between her and the captain guy and then removing Mushu or whatever, it's like, man, just come up with a different property. I mean, Jesus Christ, especially Disney. Like, Disney has no excuse about this. I think, what is it? Disney owns something like 70% of all the IPs in the world
What?
now. Like, of all the original IPs that are out in the world right now, Disney owns some ludicrous number, like 60 or 70% of them total. And so you have no excuse, Disney. You've got a ton of
Yeah,
IPs. You could find an IP to fit whatever story you want to tell. So there's no reason to take these, especially fan favorite. That's the whole. They know what they're doing. They're taking like Mulan. It's like that's one of my favorite Disney movies ever. It was a great fucking movie, and they know what they're doing because they want to take that nostalgia and then use it to change things up and twist it around or do whatever. And it's people aren't gonna dig it, man. They're sick of it.
People are just. I think because all these remakes like have been bad. Like I've watched that Lion King remake not in theaters because I'm not a bad person. Bad. Aladdin, they ruined
Sure.
Aladdin. I don't know how you can just ruin Aladdin, but they just murdered that movie.
You didn't like Aladdin?
I hate the Aladdin remake.
I liked it.
It's like I don't think you should just remake those old movies because they're classics that will last forever, and these remakes won't even be remembered. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, when it comes to like those remakes, like the Disney classics, I don't understand like why you would remake something that it's actually they sit on the gold mine every 10 years that they're released out of the vault.
right?
Everybody runs and buys them. So I mean, I don't understand like why remake those. Those don't make sense to remake.
Because they're
But if you're,
classics that will last forever. People still watch Pinocchio, and that movie's
oh
gone
yeah,
and now
in
old.
the original form, yeah. Like, so, but if you like are remaking, say, Terminator, or you're remaking, hell, Rocky or anything, like don't take Rocky and then turn it into a female boxer. Like that makes no sense. And then call it like Ronda or something like that instead of Rocky. Like it doesn't make
Rhonda.
sense to do
Instead
that.
of, that doesn't even sound as cool.
Well,
Rhonda
no,
instead
it
of
does. I mean,
Rocky.
but I mean that's what they've been doing with these remakes is they're trying to get female leads and stuff. But I mean, there's so many different properties that you could do with female leads. Hell, Charlie's Angels. That was a pretty profitable thing, but for
Too
some
bad
reason they
they messed it
decided to
up with the
inject.
latest.
Huh?
They messed up with the
Oh yeah.
latest
Oh,
Charlie's
the new
Angels.
one, yeah,
Well,
but
yeah, because
the original movie was pretty
because
popular.
Elizabeth Banks that made it or whatever, just like talked about. It's all about identity politics with her. It's all about you need to come support it because it's females. I'm like, no, like that's not why we go see movies. We don't go see movies based on what the gender of the person of the lead is. It's based on like is the person a good actor, and then also the storyline behind it. We
I
don't
mean,
care about what's between the person's legs.
it being a good movie, I think would be a really good start. That's just
Hey,
my
Pete, what
opinion.
was that?
Oh, dude, that was Valorant, man. Just saying.
I saw you move into an explosion. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, that's because I mistook it for the single explosion where that's the little
Oh,
cluster mine bullshit. But it is what it is. Like I said, I'm playing Valorant, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to call the. I mean, I've been kind of busy with being a Karen.
At least my man admits it. That's awesome.
Well, my neighbor behind me in the caddy corner, like the wind was blowing like towards my house from his house at probably like 70 miles an hour. We hadn't really had a bunch of rain. And all of a sudden you're smelling something and you're like, oh, he's cooking. And the next thing you know, you hear a bunch of popping, pop, pop, pop. Like, and I'm like going, wait a minute. Most people when they're cooking, that sounds more like a campfire. So I got up on my little ledge to look over. Sure enough, he's got like a burn pit in the middle of his yard, but he's got like the 8-foot or 6-foot stockade fence laying across it, and he's got a ton of it, like just burning it. I'm like, oh hell no, because your embers are gonna go flying everywhere. And I was like, I'm not having coming back and having my house burnt down because your dumbass wanted to get rid of a fence, especially when big trash day just happened. And I'm like, so I called and they transferred me to the fire department, and all of a sudden you heard them come out, like the fire truck come down, and the next thing you know, you didn't smell shit. Like it was put out real quick. And then, yeah, I guess the other day I went over to my mom's house to get my collector's edition trophy, because I got a shelf for him finally. And while we were there, some crazy woman, man, some like absolutely insane. She was walking around just like arms waving in the air, like and swaying like throughout the street, cussing to something that she saw. And then some car came down to my mom's street, and she like jumped in front of it. And so I called on. I was like, you might want to get this woman. She's gonna end up getting herself killed because she's walking back towards one of our major streets in the city. And they came and we actually got to see the cop show up, stop in front of her, and he like stayed away from her for a little bit and talked to her. And then next thing you know, he was trying to arrest her, and she was fighting him. And so he had her shoved up against the fence, and then he had a dry stunner with a taser in her back. And you could hear that woman just yelling and screaming. I mean, that woman was fighting and winning against a huge male officer. And that woman was like skinny as hell, like some sort of meth crackhead or whatever. But I get whatever drug she was on gave her some sort of superhuman strength.
She's on like hammer drugs.
It was fun. I had to get my daughter, my 3-year-old came out there, and I'm like, oh no, she needs to get back inside because if this woman keeps on, this cop's gonna shoot her. Like he's already tried stunning her. If that didn't work, then the only other option is a lethal force. They finally got her into the car though. I think they had to hog tie her.
Oh Jesus!
Like yeah, she was wild.
I'm trying to imagine
man.
how that looks. Like just walking by that.
Oh, it was. My son was sitting out in his truck because his truck doesn't run, so it's at my mom's house. He was sitting out his truck. He came in. He goes, "Some crazy lady's walking down the street," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like just kind of just yelling and screaming with arms waving and cussing, and it was very strange, man. whatever the hell whatever drug they were on or she was on.
It was
Man,
most
I
effective
do
when
not
they
want
had.
none of that. I want none of that, man.
Well, now we know that a group of Karens is called a privilege.
Dude, I was dying
Yeah.
so hard when I read that.
No, it's still funny every time you say
Still
it.
fucking funny.
30 seconds left.
But yeah, I don't know, man. World is turning crazy.
The world is crazy, and I love it.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Remaining.
it's insane. Like normally, I don't care. Like whenever,
I
I
started
think our
appreciating
mayor
the
asked us
chaos. I love the chaos of it now.
our mayor asked us like to report, gatherings of people or whatever. And my neighbors, well, they're all Mexican, so like
They don't
their entire families gathering. They had like 100 people at the house at one time, and I'm like, I'm not worried about that. Like I don't give a shit. But when you're at Walmart and you have some like woman like she's backing up and like
You have a
like,
crazy
with her
Karen
face,
snatch on you.
yeah, like facing the man, and the man, she's like, you're walking at me toward with a knife, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to get the cop, man. The cop, yeah, it's been crazy around here, man.
Not social distancing. Look.
Yeah. No, Arrow, I don't like to admit that I become what I haven't. I hate. The shit, I didn't want my house burnt down.
I love the chaos in the world. I'm just gonna enjoy it.
Dude, it is fucking clown decade for sure.
It's
I mean,
clown century right now, man. Like it's like we're on track to like look back on the whole 2000s and go, well, I mean, not us because we're gonna be dead, but our kids are gonna look back and go, what the hell happened?
I'll be alive somehow.
But it's true. The world has gone crazy.
The societal
I
breakdown.
was about to say we live in a society.
Who's that? Who does the song "The World Is a Vampire"? That song is
Never even
so
heard of
right.
it.
It's
Yeah.
very accurate right now.
Yeah, it is. Because you stand up for something that you believe in, and you're considered what do they call it? Draconian. That's like,
Oh, yeah.
wow. I'm like, wow, I didn't realize standing up for what I believe in is okay.
You're the crazy person for staying up for you believe it.
Well, I just think that like the people in Michigan are like that governor. She's doing some draconian style, like forcing everybody to stay in until like June or whatever. And she actually said something like that. She wasn't going to sign any bills from her legislative branch that would take any power away from her.
Easy.
I'm like,
One
wow.
enemy remaining.
That's where we need to like just have the gamers rise up right there. No, that shit is crazy.
I don't know. I saw the Las Vegas mayor though on CNN, and my God, that woman's nuts.
Oh, dude, for real.
She lives in Vegas. She's probably nuts to begin with.
Well, yeah, but she's like, oh, I meant she's beyond Vegas nuts. I mean,
Bro, she is one of the dumbest people. I can't believe Trump gives her credit. Trump's like, oh yeah, she's a smart. No, she's not. She is not smart.
No, not whenever she said I volunteered our residents to be the test subjects. I'm like, what?
Yeah, she was like, yeah, I would like to offer our citizens, if we reopen, to be the control group. And I was like, what?
Wait, huh?
Yeah.
Like, let me
Come
get
again?
this straight. Let me get this straight. The gambling capital of pretty much the world, and you want to give those people the opportunity to be a control group. I want our viewers to let that sink in for a minute.
Well, they are gonna. I mean, it would fit in with the gambling because they are definitely gambling
They're
with
gambling
their
on
lives.
luck,
I mean, the
Jesus.
stakes have never been higher.
Not wrong.
She was insane though. When I saw that, and everybody's kind of like going like she was like spot on, and she destroyed Anderson Cooper. And I'm like, what world did you watch that in? Because man, I figured like Anderson Cooper brought her on because she was going to be such an easy target. Because I mean, dear God, that woman is insane.
Speaking of insane
Yeah.
things, so NeoGaf is claiming
30
that
seconds left.
Barret in the Final Fantasy VII remake is racist, and the mods are banning anybody who disagrees with them in true NeoGaf form.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
maybe.
People still use that.
That's what I don't believe. I can't believe it. Now it's reset era, right? Because it's not actually NeoGaf, because too many of their
Well, yeah.
mods were discovered to be fucking predators. But
Well, I mean, and well, Reset Era is the same way.
yeah, oh, God.
I don't
And
know,
I
man.
know
Any
it's
site that's been found out about being predators and shit, I tend to stay away from because that's just bad juju.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, but I mean, like that Daniel Ahmed or whatever that's on Twitter that always talks about like he's like an analyst. He's like big into Reset Era or whatever, and they've posted like screenshots of conversations like where he's a mod and they're not doing anything to people talking about like child porn and shit. I'm just like, oh no, nah, I left Reset Era. I was like, nope, I'm out, man.
I think
I'm
the
not
biggest-
associated with this shit.
I almost don't believe that story to be true, Pete, because like who's actually even using Reset Era?
Apparently, some people.
All the crazy predators.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like some people use it, but who are people actually going there to be contrary? Like you can't even do that there. You can breathe there.
No, as soon as you go there and disagree, you're banned. I mean,
Yep.
you're
Yeah, so it's like, what's the point? Like I wouldn't even go there just to be
It's basic-
contrary.
The only thing you can go there for right now is basically just to read the dumb shit people are saying.
And you don't even have to do that because Reddit does a pretty good job of letting you know when the really dumb shit happens.
That, and then you have this person on Twitter called Reset Era Take,
Right.
and so like they're posting like threads of all the shit going on in there, and I'm like, oh well, I'm glad I'm not in there, man.
Jack, I
Yeah.
can't remember the exact part. I know what they are talking about though. There's a part in the beginning where Barret. It's been so long since I played that game. And there's a part where I don't even think he really mentions race, but in like a secondary way or something like that.
He mentions a group of people and the way they live.
So yeah,
It was-
something like that.
It was
And-
about being something about being a colony drifter or some shit like that. Yeah.
Sure, yeah, and
Wasn't even
Not
what's funny
even
is it
close
wasn't
to-
even anything. Yeah, it wasn't even racist, dude. It was
No.
just it's fucking stupid, bro. Like,
yeah,
Well,
just
everything
plain
is racist
stupid.
these days.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you could practically turn anything into racist if you really tried hard enough. And trust me, they're really trying hard enough.
Is Reset Era trying to be like we should boycott
Oh,
Final
no.
Fantasy
It
VII
was-
remake?
It
No one's
says
doing
that Barret. It says that Barret is racist because it's not that Barret is racist; that he is a racist caricature. They said his voice.
Oh, is
they said
that what
fans are
they're
concerned
saying?
about Barrett's voice Final Fantasy VII remake.
Okay.
because it's too
Like the
ghetto, I
English
guess,
version or
or black?
Japanese
I
you're
don't know.
talking about?
I have
Probably
probably
English
the
voice.
English version. I don't think half these people like even know what the hell the Japanese version is saying.
Spike planted.
Well, no, it
mean,
could be
to me,
true in
that's-
it could be true in the Japanese version too, because ironically enough, a lot of black people in anime and other things like that are stereotyped, like fairly heavily. Like they've
Well-
always got super deep voices and talk a little. It's not just different from regular Japanese. It's different in a specific way that's not the same way as like an American would. So
Yeah, but
they could even take that and say that that's racist or something like that. So
If you look at it though, I mean, if you look at it like like China and like the Asian community, like the Asian area, are, like some of the most racist lands.
oh yeah,
So I mean,
China for
it's
sure.
only, yeah, for China definitely, but I mean, but it only makes sense coming from there because if you look at it, I mean, they're really homogenous over there, like, as far as the people.
oh
And
yeah,
so if they don't see like a ton of, I mean, they might see more now, but I mean, throughout their lifetime, they haven't really seen like a ton of black people or even a ton of white people. So them making fun of, or not really, or using stereotypes or whatever, like to do that, it kind of makes sense because I mean, it's something that's completely, to me, like abstract from them because they're so homogenous. They're probably, I would say probably 85% now like homogenous as far as being
oh at
all
least
Asian.
yeah, oh yeah. Japan's the
China's
same way.
almost 100%.
Like, if
yeah.
you're
Yeah,
non-Japanese,
Japan, China, yeah.
You cannot buy property except like you can't own property and you can't even rent a apartment except in specific areas. You know, there's all sorts of things like that where they restrict non-Japanese people from partaking like regular Japanese people do. So even
Yeah.
in
So
the westernized Asian cultures, it's. I mean, I don't even want to call it racist because it's not really. It's not like
I don't
Japan
call it
doesn't
racist.
like
Yeah.
black people. They just don't like foreigners. Period. As much as
They just don't like
or-
anyone.
well, they're not as inclusive to foreign people as say America is or Canada is. Which I mean, you can. In a lot of ways, their countries
I
are
can
doing a lot
understand.
better than ours. Yeah, so I can understand it. But it's whether it's right or wrong. I mean, that's fucking. You can untangle that mess.
That's
Go
a
ahead.
yeah. That's your own personal opinion on it. To me, I mean,
Reset.
like
Yeah.
I mean, England was that way. I mean, for a while.
Yeah.
Like, because they were like really homogenized, and they had a core set of beliefs, and then I mean, like I guess the Asian countries are just a little bit slower to adapt to the whole foreign incomers. So I mean,
No, they will.
I just think I mean, it's their ways. It's who am I to? I mean, unless you're like having like serious human
It's
rights
all up.
violations like China is, like I really could care less if you have like a certain belief because you're homogenous or whatever. I don't
In
care.
most of Asia, it's all culture, all pride over there. So that's why I'd say it'll probably never happen because it's all about their culture, their pride, all that stuff. So
Oh yeah, it would take I think a long while before they started becoming more like the U.S. or whatever, like a
no, I still think I
blending
don't
of
think that ever
people.
will. Like pride would have to be removed for that to
Oh
happen.
yeah. Well, I mean, hey, look at our society. It broke down.
True.
Who's to
It's
say
true.
their society can't break down too?
Maybe.
I don't know, Jack. I don't have anything to say on that.
One enemy remaining.
What happened?
Oh, I don't know. He just put a bunch of stuff in chat about
10
Persona
seconds
5. There's a black guy. He's in the airsoft gun shop. I guess maybe he's a little stereotyped or something. He thinks it's weird. Like I said, I've noticed stuff in anime and manga and shit like that, but
Last round before the switch.
I don't know. I just don't care. I really don't.
I agree.
I mean, oh god, it's a huge, complicated topic. I mean, on the one hand, a lot of stereotypes are there for a reason, and a lot of stereotypes are stupid. But even disregarding that, stereotypes is stuff we all use every day in our normal, day-to-day interactions. Not to mention like media. I mean, there's a reason why tropes exist, and it's because they work. The Star Wars hero, the damsel in distress, all that kind of stuff. Like, so, which ones are right and which ones are wrong? I don't know. I don't give a shit. So.
Cover going out.
Eat.
If you're personally offended by something, all right, then, don't watch it, don't play it, don't support it. And
That's the way I look at it, man.
yeah. I mean, like, that's my whole thing with everything is personal, not personal, what is it? Vote with your dollar, If you think some
Yeah,
things
I
are
mean-
bad or good,
Player standing.
vote with your dollar. That's the best thing you can do as a consumer. Way, way more important than bitching about it
The
on
mark-
the
I mean,
internet.
the mark-
on Twitter. You're supposed to complain on Twitter and have nothing happen.
Yeah,
What
that's
happened there?
the.
The market
well, I mean,
will decide.
that's only for blue check marks, though. See, that's the thing, right? None of us are blue check marks, so our bitching on Twitter doesn't count for anything. But nice shot. Yeah, far better than
So you're
bitching on
telling-
Twitter. Just vote with your
You're
dollar.
telling me complaining doesn't actually change anything? How dare you?
I mean, when like here's the thing, right? Like whenever there's a business going on, say like let's
Switching
take Twitter
sides.
for instance.
Stand tall.
You can complain all you want, right? Like you can literally cry about anything on the planet about Twitter. Do you think they're going to listen to you, or do you think they're going to listen to the statistics that they have with their feedback when it comes to their API and all of their analysts? Like when the numbers speak, man, the numbers speak. That's why I keep telling people, like, if you really hate something, stop fucking supporting it, because they're not going to listen to you if they're getting all the numbers. If they're getting all the numbers, they could give two shits about what one person out of Idaho says, right? Like nobody gives a fuck about that guy. But let's say, I don't know, 25, even 30% of those numbers all of a sudden start reflecting, then they will actually come out and say, okay, well, here's a public apology, blah, blah, blah. We'll try to do better.
Well, that's kind of like half the thing is on Twitter, you'll see the people complain about, say, a movie or like the way they do stereotypes or whatever doesn't have enough, certain representation or whatever the case may be. Off of a trailer, they'll complain like all the way up from the trailer release all the way to the actual release of the movie. And then they'll say they went to see the movie and it's, worse than what they even imagined. I'm like going, well, you just told that company, this is what I want to see because you paid money.
Exactly.
Quit. Like if you actually carried through with your actual words, whatever like that, it might actually make the difference you want to make. But until you actually quit going to see these damn movies or quit buying these games, you're not really going to ever see a change.
Most of these people, all they do is complain on Twitter. They don't even go that far. That's why most of these boycotts on Twitter don't exactly work. Like you see those people who, because I'm back when remember the Goblet Slayer controversy. Oh, everyone's outraged, and then all it was just a loud minority on Twitter that really all they do is give free advertising. Like that's almost all of Twitter is. It's just a loud minority of people complain that have no value or anything to stake in anything. That's why they say games journalists are not like actual gamers or people who complain about stuff on Twitter are like the actual players. Like there's people who complain about like who's that one character you said was being racist in Final Fantasy?
No. It's a racist caricature.
Or stereotype, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Those people complain about that. How many of those people do you think actually bought Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Oh, fucking zero.
A lot of people.
No, the ones that think that Barret's a racist caricature, yeah, fucking zero.
Oh, I bet you they bought it anyways, dude. I bet you they bought it, dude. I bet
some
you
of them did. I bet
some of them may have, but man,
a lot of it's virtue signaling.
Final Fantasy is because, or at least that it's not really that much of a niche anymore. The remake, so
well, a lot of it is actually more virtue signaling. Like they really don't care about the caricature or the anything like that, and they are just like talk about it and complain on Twitter in order to gain following or whatever. Yeah, that's the annoying part about Twitter.
It's all it is. Just it's fake. That's why Twitter doesn't have that much merit to it, or at least like not in the way that companies that are trying to Disney's just hugging the panda bear on Twitter just for it not to work out.
Almost no consumer actually cares about what any company or whatever says on Twitter as much as they think they do. Like, I just can't imagine anybody who's actually a consumer of something where, Disney or any one of these news sites puts out some stupid ass tweet and then, like a bunch of customers are going to go, oh, well, I'm not going to buy this now. No, come on.
Yeah, no, Twitter.
I mean, people barely care about like game and movie reviews as it is. Like, you think they care about what some dumbass says on Twitter?
No, but they just what they're looking for is that what they're looking for is that herd mentality to oh, this person said something I like, so let me follow them, and then I guess they get some sort of value out of like, oh, I have 11,000 followers, and somehow what you say becomes more important to somebody. I don't know. I've never understood the whole follower account to be some sort of anything significant about my own personal life. It's almost like those digital trophies that I get. Those are only for my personal thing. I don't give it, it doesn't make me feel like I'm more of a gamer or anything like that. It just simply, that's my own personal thing that I like to do. But some people really put a lot of stock in their followers or their likes or their retweets.
It's just social media addiction. That's all it really is. Not to say bring that up, but it's just like they're putting they view those Twitter numbers of, oh man, how many retweets did I get? It's so important that I'm insanely popular on Twitter, even though no one actually cares in that real world.
I wonder if they took away all the numbers from all these different social media platforms. Like when you looked at a channel, subscriber count, like count, dislike count, any of that stuff, any of that stuff, all the numbers across all the social media platforms, how long would they last?
That would be an interesting question.
Because it seems like a lot of people are.
I mean, they won't touch it because
that value.
They were talking about doing that on Twitter, and everyone freaked out. Oh my god, you can't get rid of likes on Twitter.
No, 'cause
Yeah,
then
I don't
they
understand.
can't
Like,
show
why?
off their e-peens to each other.
Yeah,
Honestly,
makes
I
no
think
sense.
they
Like,
should get rid of the verified shit. I think everyone on Twitter should be verified.
Yeah, that's like Sargon was right about that. Everybody should be verified. Like everybody that's not a well, I mean even companies you could say could be verified, but maybe a different verification than people. But yeah, anything other than just like random, meme posters or whatever, every individual should be verified, and I could see companies being verified too. But no, they don't want that.
But
They
they
want
made
a protected class.
verified being via status.
Yeah.
You have on Twitter
Exactly.
the
it's
normal
kind of like the
people,
whole.
and then you have the verified checkies. We literally put them in their own class, which is kind of funny. I can't
Well,
believe
it's
everyone
literally
did that.
like the. It's kind of like the addiction to gambling. It's the addiction to the numbers and how many the likes, retweets, and like I mean, to me when I put something up on Twitter, I don't give a shit if it gets liked or retweeted or whatever like that. It's just that's my thought or my opinion at the time. It doesn't really matter if a million people are engaged with it. It doesn't make my opinion any more valid to me. It's my opinion was my opinion, but I don't know. I guess it's a whole different generation that grew up with nothing but social media that they become so attached to those numbers. Like I think when like Instagram talked about like removing the like button or whatever.
They
Like
don't even
the-
have public likes anymore. Now it's
Yeah,
all
that-
private.
Yeah, the people freaked out or whatever.
Everyone freaked out when public likes are no longer a thing.
30 seconds.
But they're freaking out. Oh my god, how are companies gonna do X? But they don't realize that it's companies still have the numbers, but it's just they don't get to see it publicly, and people freaked out and couldn't flex their like ego, whatever the hell that gave you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not carrying that shit. I don't know. It
So
is what it is.
social media is a weird little place.
It's
It's like a really good thing and a really bad thing all in the same.
like almost everything humans do. There are
Yeah.
disadvantages and advantages, and it's hard to separate them, and that's part of it. But yeah, in just as a heads up too, what was it? There's a free mobile game, Alien. Shit.
It's a mobile game, don't worry about it. You have to play it.
Yeah.
Hey, it's free, so if you're bored
it's a mobile
and
game.
looking for something, let me
Last player standing.
I don't think I've
Of
ever been that
course.
bored.
see. I play mobile games all the time.
I
Shit,
can't.
I
don't
play
have
them
it up
too,
here.
but it's a
Alien
vice.
something. Sure, you'll find it if you look it up, but it's free for today only on the 30th or 40th anniversary of Aliens or something like that. So if you're bored and looking for something to play, that's an option. And there's a free weekend for what's that new World War II open MMO shooter?
Oh, I think isn't that like a mix between RTS and the shooter part, if I remember correctly?
I think so.
It's like something front lines or
Yeah,
it's on
yeah.
Steam, yeah.
Yeah, it's on Steam. The free weekend's going. So today's the last day, and the D-Day patch or whatever update you want to is live. Although it is a pretty different game. Like apparently a lot of people are joining it thinking that it's just a regular like Call of Duty style shooter, and it's not. Team tactics and communication and stuff like that is a real big important part of that game. So
Playing an RP server.
well, I mean, hey, that's some games are more like Arma, some games are more like Counter-Strike, and that's fine. It's okay to have both of those styles. So, but this one is more on the Arma side. So, if you want to play it, check it out. Just be aware. And there was a couple other free games on Steam too, but I mean that stuff's just always rotating. So
Where
I'm
do you
sure-
find the free on Steam, like the free games that aren't for like the regular free? Because I don't like free to play games, but games that are like like you know how Epic gives away free games
Right.
like every so
The free
often. or whatever.
giveaways.
Like where,
I see them
yeah,
on
where do you
Reddit.
find the free giveaways on Steam?
I find them on Reddit.
Okay, because I know
got
that
a
like they gave
couple-
away Pac-Man.
Yeah, Pac-Man was one of them, and there was two others that were kind of like weird, goofy, just strange type games.
See, I don't
But-
even mind those, but I mean, if they're giving away a game that I wouldn't necessarily have to purchase, I'll download it because it's free. Like, why not try it out? But free to play games I've just never been a fan of because like the microtransactions end up ruining it.
Right. Yeah. Usually
game
you can
is
see them
single-player
on
game or
the deals tab or the specials tab. But sometimes they don't, and I wish they would advertise this a little better. But like I said, I got like game deal r/game deals r/games and gaming and r/PC gaming. And if Steam or Epic or one of those puts out a free to own game like that, I'll find it on one of those. So, and there was another one. Epic's got a free game.
Yeah, but you shouldn't
Yeah,
use
for
the
the king.
Yes.
For the king or something.
If you have Epic on your computer, which I don't, so for the people
Yeah, we
who
should
have
use Epic
Epic,
regardless.
grab that while you can. But
There's that, but you also shouldn't use Epic.
I would say you shouldn't. But hey, that's my opinion.
It's reality.
But
Is that it for the docket, I guess?
my life, I don't feel bad for DSP Gaming. I really don't, as he's already lied under oath that he bought text and something. I've not heard of this, so I don't know what's up with DSP.
DSP?
Gaming.
What has happened to him then? What happened to
I
that
don't
dude? I've
know.
heard about that in ages.
Somebody's talking about it in the shit. Somebody's talking about it in the chat.
Like, what did DSP do this time?
He already lied under oath that he bought text and gaming as his business-related stuff. He's going to be under investigation, and he might actually be homeless. Well, if that is the case, like I said, I haven't heard any of the. I don't pay attention to this shit.
I don't pay attention to the guy. I don't keep up with the drama. It's stupid to keep
I
up
don't
with.
either.
I think any of you that actually keep up with that guy is wasting your life. You stop.
Yeah, like
wasting your
I
life.
would just say get a life at that point. 'Cause, I mean, if you're
Jesus.
like focusing on some rando on Twitter, man, or
It's a
rando
waste
on
of space
Twitch, or
and
whatever, like, dear
everybody-
God.
Bro, like, and you know what? I know there's an entire community that's literally dedicated to hate
Oh,
that
yeah.
man, and I'm like, dude, like, really? You guys have nothing else better to do in your life than keep up with somebody else's life? Live your own life.
Well,
man.
it goes. I mean, it even goes back to the same people that we were talking about, like as far as like not liking or saying bad things about a movie, but then going to see it. They're giving the dude views. Like you're still keeping the damn guy around. Like if you would just like lay off and go mind your own damn business, the guy would probably just go away. And if his audience is being scammed or whatever, who gives a shit? That's their business.
Yup.
Like, dear God, like I don't understand the fascination with DSP. Like these people, the people that are like obsessed with him seem to be more concerning to me than whatever he's doing.
Oh man, this
Absolutely,
game feels
dude.
pretty nuts, but
It's just I just don't understand the infatuation with the man, and I never understood it. Like I get it, the guy is a piece of shit. Okay, let's move on. There's other pieces of shit out there that I'm sure like can just as equally, if not be worse than who you're keeping up with.
Oh, there's plenty of people out there that are like far worse than what like him scamming his audience for money. Or e-begging or what. I just.
Or at least
Don't
keep
give a
up with a
shit.
movement or something. Like keep up with something
Yeah.
like, hey, like in your country, if there's a senator or a president or a chancellor, I guess is what they call them in the UK. That's a piece of
the
shit.
Chancellor,
Oh.
Chancellor Palpatine.
Fucking focus on them, expose them, get them out of office, and get better people in there. That is the best thing
Yeah.
you can do. Don't be wasting your time with that energy on YouTube
Ah, shit.
about a douchebag. Like nobody cares about the douchebag.
I mean, this is
I
why I
didn't realize
hardly
Palpatine
watch
controlled the UK.
anybody on YouTube. I don't watch anybody on Twitch. I hardly watch anybody on YouTube, because I just don't care. I don't care for the drama. Most people's opinions I don't give a shit about. I mean, I get hate watching. I'm not gonna say you're a terrible person if you hate
I
watch.
think we all
'cause-
do that. Yeah,
Sure,
hate watching
you know.
is one thing.
I just, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna hate watch, fine, but I mean, there's, well, I mean, Brim and I have like dealt with somebody that has like a really like a super strange infatuation with DSP,
Yep.
and then you once you go down that rabbit hole of seeing like the other people like in that community, it's just like that's beyond hate watching. Like they're and they're saying that like they're trying to do it to like to expose them to his the people giving him money. I'm like going, clearly it's not working. Like if they're still giving him money, like let them be. Just like if that's what they want to do, let them
But
do
who
it.
is
Like
money
it's
to
their
DSP
money.
to begin with, though?
I don't
Serious
know.
question.
Some random streamer that was, I guess, some random streamer that was real popular back in the beginning of Twitch, and then I don't know. Like the only
No, man,
reason
like,
I even know of the dude was
No,
because
I
of
know
him
who he is.
slapping on stream.
As who's even giving him money?
Oh, he still has a pretty good, like, decent following, from what I can tell, that still like support him.
Yep.
But I mean, these other people that are like, infatuated with him are like thinking they're trying to save these people.
You're
And I'm
gonna
just like,
save
you're
them?
not.
Jesus Christ! I don't go that far.
You're not. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. Like, try to keep, like, let them know the truth about him or whatever. I'm like, but clearly, if they've been doing it and they've been giving him money, if they're that gullible, then you're not gonna like convince them otherwise. So, who cares? Like, I don't give a shit. Like, if Brim wanted to give some e-girl like $1 million a month, I'd be like, all right, cool. That's Brim's money if he
That
wants
would
to
not
do
be
it.
a cool with me. I would shame him every second of the day.
But you
But,
know
I
what,
mean, you
though?
might-
My number one defense is fate go, dog. Fate go.
That doesn't
Jay-
matter. That's what e-girls are worse. At least my e-girls are fake.
At least
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
getting titties. At least I'm getting real titties and not digital ones.
This
Well,
is
you
true.
know what? Digital ones are better than e-thought.
Not really.
Yeah, JC, I don't know. I don't think this is sarcastic, but even if it is, he says, yeah, focus on Susie Lou, lol. I see that Susie Lou is a completely different thing altogether,
Susie Lou?
because Susie Lou is that chick who does reaction videos to full anime episodes, and
Yeah.
whatever you want to say about that, I don't personally give a shit. I don't even really think it's copyright infringement, but whatever, could be, could not be. They'll figure that out in the courts.
The way I look at it is like, let the companies that are dealing with the damn, what she's dealing with, like, let them handle it.
But
I could give a shit less.
she has been false copyright claiming people, and that's a big deal.
I mean,
That's YouTube's broken system.
Yeah, well, and that's not just like silly drama on YouTube or whatever. So it's
Well, the way I look at it is like, I mean, it's a terrible thing that what she's doing as far as like false copywriting people. But the problem with that is that if you like, I mean, with all the different big creators that, I mean, PewDiePie, all these people that have talked about the reporting system being broken, and they still haven't fixed it. I don't think YouTube gives a shit, no matter how many
No.
more people you expose doing it. So I mean, it's just like, why even bother with it?
Yeah.
It's like, let people know, hey, don't talk about this girl because she's gonna, copyright you and move on.
30 seconds left.
Because there's no point in, like, you're never going to make YouTube care.
No, certainly not. Not in.
And now they even
numbers
have
that-
like, from my understanding, they even have like where you can report fucking closed captioning problems. Like,
Closed cap. Jesus Christ.
yeah,
man.
like you can, if you have a problem or you get offended by something that's in the closed captioning, you can report the video.
How does that work?
I don't know, because the closed captioning, if
The
you've
closed
seen
captioning,
people's
this
intro,
video is not for kids. This video is not advertiser friendly for children, guys. Like, Jesus Christ. How does
it.
Can
I don't know,
content
man,
creators
I-
ever win on YouTube or no? It's just like you're always gonna lose.
I heard that, and then don't like a guy I watched named Donut Operator, because I'm like a sadist that likes to watch people get shot.
Defenders win.
Jesus.
Well, yeah, I love. I gotta. I have to like curb myself because now my 3-year-old, every time she sees a cop, she's like, they're gonna kill somebody. I'm like, no, there's some random videos I watch on YouTube. They're not gonna kill nobody. But he actually talked about somebody on one of his videos that somebody that actually sent him a DM on Twitter that talking about he hopes he offs himself and his whole family, and the guy reported that tweet as personal information, and YouTube automatically took that guy's side and told him that he had to either remove the content or remove that portion or blur it out, or they would do it for him. It's like the YouTube system is like the reporting system. No matter what they implement, is broken as hell because it always takes the side of the person reporting,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
they never get involved in the middle of it to figure out who's actually telling the truth.
And they don't even implement simple.
BRE, by the way, I gotta go. For a bit.
All right. They don't even implement simple changes that would vastly improve it. Like, instead of automatically taking the side of the reporter, how about you hold whatever ad revenue is earned on the video until a ruling has been made, and then whatever the ruling favors, that's who you give the money to. Instead of anybody reporting it gets the ad revenue for the first portion of it regardless. Or you could also implement a time percentage-based system where if there's a copyrighted clip of a music or a show or whatever, and it's only like 10 seconds out of an hour-long video, it's like, okay, yeah, we'll give you the ad revenue for, whatever that percentage is of that 10 seconds versus the whole hour, not the whole video, because it's just ludicrous. I mean, yeah, there's so many things that they could improve
or even
that would
make
not
somebody
be hard.
make somebody prove their copyright claim.
Sure.
Because there was some guy, I forgot, he actually purchased the actual soundtrack from the actual guy who created the music. He actually got it. I don't know how he got in touch with him, but he bought the actual rights from him to use that song in his intro.
Right.
And some music group decided to go ahead and they claimed every one of his videos that used them, all the popular ones, all the
Right.
ones that were getting a lot of views. And then he, like, even though he had the actual certificate showing he owned the rights to it, to use it, they were still claiming it. And so it was either take them to court and
On your
spend
own
a shit ton
dime.
of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just go ahead and
Let 'em have the revenue.
remove that song.
Yeah.
Because you can't, because YouTube just we're washing our hands of it. We let somebody do it, but then it's like they've got to figure out a way to make it to where you have to prove the copyright infringement even exists.
Yep. And then it's not
Like
fair use.
they should have some sort of legal team in there. They should
Really?
have some sort of legal team to
Seriously.
be able to discern.
Yeah. And especially because it happened to Brem a couple of Night Owl episodes where he used some music of a creator that he has gotten permission from to use the music in our videos freely, and they still got claimed by the system. And granted, some of that is an automatic system, fair enough, but then there should be an automatic negative system as well, to where if you have a deal with the creator of whatever it is, the creator checks your little box on their tab or whatever it is and says, yeah, this guy can use my music, so don't ever give a copyright claim against them for any of my stuff. Like, how easy would that be? They even have don't they even have a YouTube system for putting copyright free music and shit in your videos?
Or even to allow you, if you with him, if you have a certificate or whatever showing, or permission showing, so where you're going to upload that image to YouTube, so that way they can keep that on file and go, okay, well, this song is protected,
right,
or whatever. So something to where it actually protects the creators, not the person on the opposite end that's just trying to get rich.
Yeah,
because it's clearly they don't give a shit about the song being used, like that one guy. Because they weren't claiming the song was in all of his some videos that were had 10,000 views, but they didn't claim those. They claimed the ones that had over 80,000 or 100,000 views. They were claiming those because they wanted the ad revenue from the popular ones.
Right.
And so clearly, I mean, I don't know. There's got to be some way for YouTube to actually protect its creators if they actually. But I mean, personally, I think that YouTube wants the creators gone.
Yeah, basically. I mean, they want YouTube TV.
Yeah.
But
and Joe, have y'all noticed that Joe Rogan has been in your recommended, as far as your next video every time you watch a video now?
Yeah.
I have noticed he has extremely gone up in the amount of hits I see on my videos you might like to
Yeah, well, it's really weird.
It
every time I watch a video, like say Tim Pool or Sargon or anything like that, if I look below it, it's nothing but Joe Rogan for the next 10 videos, and then it goes to some other videos too. But It's like what has happened with the algorithm that has like just propped up Joe Rogan to.
I don't
You
know.
know,
That's the thing. I
I
haven't
one of
even
the
watched Joe
major.
Rogan in a long time.
I
And
enjoy his. I mean, I've never watched his. I don't really watch his long form because I just can't sit around for an hour or 2 3 hours to listen to him. But I'll listen to the clips, and then if something interesting is really said, then I'll go watch that, larger segment of
sure.
that portion. But um, but one thing I also hate about YouTube is like if you watch like say some random video, and then all of a sudden you go to your recommended, it's like a long list. Almost every one of your recommended videos are from that damn channel's creator, and I'm like,
Right.
man, just because I watched one fucking video doesn't mean I like the damn person that much.
Well, not just that, but hey,
Like,
how about if I watch, say if I watch a bunch of Sargon, how about giving me a whole bunch of people that people who like Sargon also like?
yeah,
Or that do the same type of content that Sargon does, or talk about the same topics that Sargon's been talking about. Because just because I like watching Sargon doesn't mean I want nothing but Sargon in my recommended feed, or Joe Rogan, or
yep,
whoever the fuck it is. Like, give me a
yeah, that's the
variety of
irritating
that
part.
kind of stuff. Yeah, because they could do it. They got the algorithms to do that.
Well, yeah, because whenever I go to like my homepage, it's like it just as if I watch like Tim Pool, it's just nothing but Tim Pool videos. It's
Yeah,
like, okay,
I
what
if I
what the
it
hell
used
happened?
man, I used to love the just like the daily feed because it would just show you all the uploads from all the people you follow,
Yeah,
and now it's all curated, and then I can't get anything except more of the same people that I already follow, and it's like I already know about those guys. Like,
yeah, not
give
not to
me
mention
other
it's like
people.
they're recommending the videos from the creators you like from like 6 years ago.
Yeah,
It's like, why do I want to watch some video from 6 years ago? Like, just give me something fresh, at least some sort of fresh upload with, like, like say people. I guess Tim Pool. I mean, you could even do it like to where, um, like if you watch Tim Pool or Sargon, well then they give you a like if you watch a lot of them, or they're in your recommended, you get a variety of maybe people that like say Sargon watches.
sure,
And so that way you kind of get a view into like his world or whatever like that. Or
sure.
I mean, just something different than just nothing besides one person's videos all down your homepage.
Yep.
It's irritating. And I had to get rid of like Cinnamon Toast Ken. I was watching him in Buff Pro because like their reactions to some of these, things that are these memes or whatever are kind of funny. But then he started getting like Cinnamon Toast Ken started getting political, talking about Donald Trump, and then like even he had a cardboard cutout of Dr. Phil. And when Dr. Phil came on and talked about, came on Fox News and talked about getting the economy back to working because, the death rate of suicides and depression and stuff like that is a real threat. He like bitched about that, like moved the cardboard cutout and put him, supposedly in timeout because Dr. Phil was like crazy, like he didn't give a shit about the actual people. It's more about his 401k. And I'm like, oh man, you're way off base here, man. So I just quit watching him because I'm like I watched them for more of the humor, not to keep getting more politics.
Right.
And that's what I hate is like whenever people delve into subjects, even if they're just bitching about their own personal opinion, leave that to like a different thing. But if your channel is more about the fun, spirited, funny nature, leave it to the funny.
Yeah.
Like I don't come to your content to watch, your opinion on what Dr. Phil said. I came to your opinion on your reaction to Dr. Phil's segment, but not. So it sucks because now I'm in YouTube. My YouTube's filled nothing with like political bullshit, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. So now I
Right.
just watch police shooting people.
Well, that's the worst part for me is I'll eventually find creators that I like. Like, especially, man, gaming has been the hardest thing. I've got like 5 or 6 now that I enjoy watching their content even if I don't agree with them. But dude, it took me like 6 years to find all those guys because even if I watch a ton of gaming content, I'm not getting any more recommends for any other gaming content besides the creators
Yeah.
I've already
Yep.
watched. And it's like, come on, YouTube, you could do better than this. But
Yeah, you almost have to just like be on a different social media site and see somebody
well,
talking about
that's
somebody
usually what it
else.
is. It's Facebook or Reddit or somewhere else that I see, oh, they here's a video about this, and it's like, oh, all right, I'll check it out, and it's, oh, okay, cool, this guy's, he knows what he's talking about or whatever, and it's like, cool, subscribe, and it's like, yeah, YouTube,
Yeah.
you could have done that, but
Yep.
so for the last word, we're coming up on 2 hours. It's getting pretty much time to end it, but the last thing I had on the title is kind of hilarious. Epic Games is now giving up about not having Fortnite Mobile on the Play Store. So for a long time, Epic Games refused to put Fortnite on the mobile game store. They were on other stores, and then they were telling people to sideload the app because they didn't want to deal with Google's 30% cut of their margins, which I can understand. But I mean, welcome to the jungle, guys. You know, it's Google's thing, and you know, it's interesting. I don't know. I'd be more on their side if their store wasn't a pile of flaming garbage.
Well, the way I look at it is like, I mean, I get 30% sucks, but Fortnite is so damn popular that they're still gonna make a shit ton of money off of it.
You know, and
Like,
I don't think that's a whole lot more than what I mean. They claim about their whole taking less from the developers, but I've not seen any actual numbers reported on what the actual cut is from the Epic Store versus Steam. Because I heard
I've
them
not either.
claim like 12% or 12.5% or whatever it was.
See, I thought it was like 8%.
See that, and that's the thing. I've seen a bunch of numbers, but I have not seen one game company come out and say, when we released our game on Steam, they took this much, and when we released it on Epic, they took this much.
Yeah.
So that to me can only say that the reduction in the cut that they were promising is nowhere, or the reduction in the cut that they were saying is nowhere near what they were promising. But yeah, that's true. Fortnite is completely irrelevant. I still don't know why people play that game.
It is, but it's widely fucking popular.
I guess.
I don't understand how, but it's that young generation like that. I don't know. They love it for some reason.
Cool, and I guess cool beans on
Yeah.
them. You know, I'm never gonna play it, but
Yeah, me neither. I think I tried it when it first came out, and I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. I was like,
I tried it when
I
it
felt
first
so damn
came out.
retarded trying to build and shoot at the same time. I'm like, fuck it.
I tried it when it first came out before building was a thing, and it was a lot more fun back then.
Oh yeah, whenever you had to just run around and actually shoot. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was actually fun. Like where you didn't have to look up like 17 stories high to find somebody.
You're like, hey guys, this guy won because he built a mansion in the center of the circle.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Like this motherfucker had time to put a pool in that bitch. He's got some big screen TVs chilling in all those 30 bedrooms that's up. Like Jesus Christ, bro. Like.
Yeah, then all of a sudden you get sniped from heaven. You know, you're just like, what the fuck happened? Like, all right, so I'm done. Like God killed me.
The parachute snipers, yeah, dude, it's
Right.
fucking annoying, dog. Like, it's one of the reasons why I stopped playing the game. I was like, you know what, this game is trash, dude.
I mean, that's the thing.
I can see why it appeals to kids. I mean,
Sure.
a lot of kids love it, you know. So.
Yeah, for me, battle royale, it's like I want Call of Duty Warzone. Like that's my battle royale for sure. And
Same.
the second to
Same.
that would be like Ring of Elysium. So I
Yeah.
have no interest in the building and all that nonsense. But yeah, like I said, to each their own. So if these kids like it. Well, now it's going to be easier to get on an Android device, and I'm not sure about iOS if it's even on the iPhones as of this point.
Right.
I'm not sure. I know that either it was PUBG. I think PUBG was on one store, not the other, for a while. But I'm not
Yeah.
sure about Fortnite.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I never searched my Play Store for either one of them. So.
And that's the thing. I don't even own an Apple device, so I wouldn't even be able. I mean, I'd have to look it up. But
Oh, my wife does. She's some big Apple person. She hates Apple computers, but she loves Apple phones. And I'm like, it's the same fucking dumb thing, man.
I know, right? What are you gonna do? But
Yeah.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks everybody for watching. Hope you had a good time. I don't think I'm gonna be doing overtime today, but we'll probably be doing Night Owl sometime later this week. So
Yeah.
we'll catch you all next time. Peace out.